The JSD TigerTracks podcast.
Hey, Tigers. Superintendent Brent Johnson and CFO Jonathan Gillen here to talk more financial Tiger Tracks, try and answer your questions about how school funding works and help everybody understand how all this works for the Jerome School District. So today we want to talk about how funds are earmarked for us in different buckets of money. Sometimes people get that confused. Jonathan?
Yeah. So essentially, the way school districts spend dollars are often into different buckets based on whether they're local funding, state funding, or federal funding. And then specifically, for us to account for those funds separately and to identify any restrictions with those funding, we'll separate them largely into buckets. We will call those buckets funds. And so I won't cover all of them, but we'll have funds for items identified like federal funding. And so that fund and those funds have very particular purposes. They have federal rules and regulations associated with how we can use the money, how we receive the money, and we have to account for those dollars separately. And so we'll separate them out into specific funds so that we can identify the dollars so that we can report back to the federal government and to stakeholders on how we utilize the money. And so there's other buckets like state funding. And so state funding, even within it, has its own separate set of buckets. We'll receive dollars for something like state technology. And so that will have its own set of a bucket specifically for using for state technology needs or for technology needs in the classroom. And there might be a bucket set up for things like training and teaching, such as professional development funding. And that will have its own set of buckets. So really the way to think about these buckets is there are funds that have been allocated to a school district that are as specific as to purpose. And so we're required to spend them that way. We're required to account for them that way. And we're required to separate them out that way.
Well, thank you. Please let us know if you have any questions or things that you want to cover to help everyone be in the loop on what's going on in the Jerome School District. Have a great week, everybody.
Subscribe now to the JSD Tiger Tracks podcast on YouTube and Spotify to stay up to date on all things Jerome School District. One team, one town, one family.